tell me, you have some experience with the, how do you pronounce it, Sama people?
Yeah, it's the Sama people.
I know sometimes they're called Bajau.
Yeah, they've been called Bajal. I think that's how they're mostly known by a lot of people outside communities, but they don't really like that term. They feel it's kind of pejorative. I'm not sure what the background of the word Bajau is, but I think it was meant as a bad label, and it wasn't a good way to call them.
Tell me about the people. What's their specialty?
Well, just like their name Sama, or they call themselves the A'a Sama, like people of the sea. Don't ask me to tell you exactly the details of the words. I don't speak the language. Just know that's what they call themselves. But they're mostly people that live off the ocean. There's not exactly sure where they came from, but they're all in that, what do you call the Sulu Seas, Micronesia, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia.
Mindanao area?
Southern Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole area is where they, most of them live, but it's not like a unified group. They are separate groups, and they speak different languages, and a lot of times they don't understand each other, although there are similarities in language. It depends on how far or close they are from each other.
What religion are they?
It seems to be that a large portion of them have some kind of Muslim background, but they do have increasing groups of Catholics and Christians.
And didn't you say they have superstitions?
That's absolutely, I forgot, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, the superstitious, more animism, which is the idea that the things are animated, the worship like the fish, the oceans, that kind of thing.
And didn't they originally live on boats entirely?
Well, that's what they are. They're mostly, that's what they call themselves, a sea people, basically people without a land. And I think that's what the Bajau word really means, is basically a pejorative term of those people without a land. It's not said nicely of them. And a lot of them do live on the boats themselves, or they go to shores on different lands. For example, in Davao, Southern Davao, where I was, they build their houses on stilts on the water. And a lot of them are not wanted on land, so not allowed on land. People don't want them, so they're forced to live where there is no land. So they live on the houses on stilts on water or in their boats.
And what do you think of the people themselves?
They're very nice people. They're very generous, and it's a shame how badly they get treated. Most of them are illiterate. They're uneducated, and they're literally abused and treated very badly. They're the lowest of the low, the poorest of the poor. They live sometimes by picking up trash from other people, and it's amazing how peaceful they are. You think with that bad treatment, but no, one of the common things about it, they're all very friendly. And when I was there, they were trying to give us gifts, and we're like, whoa, don't give us anything. We're trying to give you stuff. They did give my daughter a very nice set of pants. She accepted them.
Mm-hmm. And they have special skills, right?
Well, I guess by necessity, yeah, the fishing. They're fishermen by trade. That's what they do. They fish. But they're not allowed to go in and trade a lot of their fish, so they're kind of stuck to themselves. They have developed, a lot of children, because they go down into the water, they've developed a great ability to hold their breaths for a long amount of time. So they go underwater and they catch whatever they can.
And then...
Oh, and another skill they've developed is shipbuilding. Again, and they have been hired in some communities to build ships for them. The problem is, throughout history, from a little bit I understand, they were hired to build the ships, and then they're made slaves on the ships to power the ships themselves.
And ultimately, what were y'all doing charity work for them?
I was on a Christian mission group. We're going over there trying to give them, give them some clothing, to see what their medical status was, and teach them about the Bible and give them Bibles. The community we were in, I did not know initially, looking around, and a lot of them had sores on their bodies. And I'm holding some of the babies and we're doing stuff like that. And it turns out that in some of those communities, especially the one I was in, the majority of them have leprosy. Now, I was a little upset when they tell me this. Well, a lot of things I mentioned about leprosy, it's not passed just by touching and holding somebody. You also can't tell when somebody has leprosy. What you see in the movies with all this skin falling off, that's not at all. They look like regular people with open sores and cuts. Like, imagine you go in the jungle, you have a lot of mosquito bites and stuff like that, they get infected. That's not what leprosy does. Leprosy does, it affects the nerves in the skin so that they don't feel the injury. That's what happens. That's what the leprosy does. Then they get infected and things happen because they don't know they've been hurt. That's the problem. Then one of the babies I was holding, whole back was all scarred. And I asked him what happened. Well, the mother had set the baby down, and the baby scooted over next to the fire, and he was on fire. But the baby wasn't crying because he didn't know, he didn't feel he was on fire. So they grabbed the baby, put the fire, and now he's scarring on his body.
Is there a special incident that happened or something that was memorable about being there?
Just overall, their friendliness. You know, the memorable how friendly they're. Very open. They're open huts where they live up on the water. It's very interesting. One thing that's also interesting, they lived at the end of the mouth of a river, and there was all this trash all over the place. And one of the contentions they had, people were calling them dirty, but it wasn't their dirt. It's all the trash that the people were throwing into the rivers and washes down to the mouth of the river where they are. So they're actually cleaning up everybody else's trash.
Do they have a special desire to keep the ocean clean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's where they live. It's where they eat. Because they have no rights. It's sad, but a lot of people use them, abuse them. They'll even come in and rape the women, and they have no recourse. They can't go to the police. They have no recognition by the government. So they can be treated very badly. And like I said, I'm still amazed how friendly they are in spite of all the bad treatment.
Tell me about the legend of where they came from.
Well, there are a variety of legends. I imagine these are different people groups, and they don't sometimes speak the same language. They speak different language, so they have different legends where they came from. One of kind of a recurring theme through some of these legends is that they were. One of them was that they were supposed to transport the daughter of a king to get married in a different island. And they got attacked. The daughter of the king got taken away, and they were afraid of going back to the king to tell him they had lost his daughter. So they said to just stay at the sea and never come back. Another similar legend is that the daughter of the king was up by the coast, and she got swept out into the ocean, either some say by a storm, some say she went into the ocean and didn't come back. So the king sent a bunch of people, his army, to go out looking for the princess. They never found her, so they're afraid of coming back to the king and tell him they never found her, so they decided to stay out in the ocean.